So you know when you're using something like ChatGPT, it really feels like you're talking to one single super smart brain, right? But what's actually going on under the hood? Well, in this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on these large language models. And it turns out it's really all about two critical parts, something called weights and something else called harnesses.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? Is an LLM actually one single brain, a single mind that just knows all this stuff? I mean, that's what it feels like. But the reality? Oh, it's way more interesting and honestly probably even more impressive than that.
So forget the idea of a single thinking machine for a second. The way to really think about it is as a two-part system. You've got this incredibly powerful raw engine, and then you have a really sophisticated harness that's designed to control it. And trust me, getting this engine and harness idea is the absolute key to understanding how this all really works.
Okay, so let's break it down. We're going to start with the first piece of the puzzle, the engine. This is the part that gets, all the headlines. And it's all built on this concept called weights.
All right, so weights. What on earth are they?
Well, the simplest way to think about it is that they're the billions, sometimes even trillions of tiny connections inside the model. They get created when the AI is trained on just a mind-boggling amount of text and data from the internet. All that training basically forges these connections, and that's what forms the model's raw, foundational knowledge. It's how it knows about, well, everything, language, ideas, how things relate to each other. This is where our engine analogy really clicks. The weights are like a massive engine with just incredible, untamed horsepower. We're talking immense potential to create or say almost anything. But, and this is a big but, on its own, it's got zero direction, no goal, no guardrails. It is just pure, raw, unfocused power.
And that, of course, brings us to the second part, which is just as important, the harness. This is the scaffolding we build around that wild engine to give all that horsepower some direction, some purpose.
Now, this harness isn't just one single thing. It's actually a whole collection of techniques. You've got careful prompting, which is basically the art of how you ask the question. Then there's specific fine-tuning, where they train the model even more on smaller, focused sets of data to make sure it's helpful and, not harmful. And it also includes what we call external scaffolding, things like giving the model access to tools or specific documents to help guide what it says.
So the harness is the whole shebang. It's what takes that wild, powerful engine and gives it a job to do. It provides the focus, it steers it toward useful answers, and, this is critical, it's what puts the safety measures in place to keep it on track. Because without that harness, that powerful engine is just a rambling genius. But here's the kicker. Neither of these parts is all that useful on its own. Not at all. The real magic, the real power, comes from how they work together. It's a completely symbiotic relationship. It's where all that power finally meets purpose. Let's break it down like this. Look at the weights, the engine. That's your raw knowledge. But the result on its own? A rambling genius. Super smart, but totally incoherent. Now look at the harness. That's all the guidance and rules. But by itself, with no knowledge to guide, it's just an empty rule book. It's only when you put them together, when you combine that deep knowledge with clear guidance, that you get what we're all looking for, a focused expert.
And this really hits the nail on the head. There's a quote that says, "The scaffolding around them matters just as much as the model itself." And that's it right there. The scaffolding, our harness, is every bit as important as the core model. So the magic we see, it's not just in the engine, it's in the incredibly clever system we've built to control it.
Okay, so what does this all mean for the future? Why does this mental model matter? Well, once you start thinking in terms of an engine and a harness, it really changes how you see AI progress, and even our role in shaping it.
Here's the takeaway. First, this model is just way more accurate. It's closer to the truth of what's happening. Second, it shows that prompting isn't just typing in a question. It's a real skill. You're literally steering a powerful engine. It also makes it super clear that progress in AI isn't just about building bigger and bigger models. Nope. Creating smarter, better harnesses is just as vital. And finally, it reveals that a lot of the magic we feel isn't magic at all. It's just really clever, really purposeful engineering.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. When we think about the next giant leap in AI, where's it going to come from? Are we going to keep building stronger and stronger engines with more and more weights? Or is the real breakthrough going to come from designing a smarter harness, a more clever, more effective way to guide the incredible power we already have at our fingertips? Something to think about.